Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Thursday night slash Friday morning Zoom edition, depending on where in the world you are. I'm in Bangkok, Thailand for a week, and feels a lot like where I was in Thailand last week. That's not important. What's going on in the crypto world is let's talk about that a little bit, and I'll share my screen. We will look at X, formerly known as Twitter, and guys, please, I'm gonna mute everybody. Unmute if you want to say something. Okay. X posts. President Trump signs an executive order establishing the strategic Bitcoin reserve just a few minutes ago, a U.S. digital asset stockpile. So this has been in the news for a while that he was going to do this. So this could be buy the rumor, sell the news. The markets are not reacting, aren't pumping due to this. Bitcoin was around 90,000 earlier this morning for me. It's at 85.6 now. Back to the news. China's making huge moves behind the scenes. Usually they're banning crypto every other month, but maybe they're going to do something interesting. I tried to click on this article, but I had to sign in for stuff, and I hate that. So, and then what else was I going to look at? Crypto Summit Exposed. So this is supposed to happen tomorrow, and President Trump signed the executive order ahead of time. So we'll see if anything comes of this, but again, could be buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. And that's about all I have for the news. Um, Over to the charts. Bitcoin day chart, big fat red candle at the moment. Don't like that. We were around 90. Now we're down to 85 and change. So we'll see if we get a pump. The 200 EMA seems to be acting as support. So that might be something we can reasonably rely on. We'll see. I don't trust a lot of the indicators when it comes to long term lately. On Ethereum, it's below all the EMAs right now, 250 and 20, and drop below the 2500 resist or support that we had from late last year. It's not doing well. Don't know if this summit will help, but has been trending down for a while since Monday the 24th. It's down about 25%. So Ethereum is taking a beating. If you want to buy some, now might be the time if you want to buy and hold for a while. Okay, any questions on the markets overall or the news? Any comments or things to talk about? Wild prognostications?
What about SUI?
SUI, SUI. Yeah, we'll talk about that one. That one came up in my pre-show review, so we'll look at that shortly. All right, let's go to Altcoin Alert and see if we can use this to find some coins to follow. I want to answer a question that I received via email from Norman. He asked me, he states that he's new to crypto and day trading altogether, but he wants to know how to use the bullish, very bullish, in the timelines in Altcoin Alert, and which was kind of a broad and specific question at the same time. But what I wanted to share is I use Altcoin Alert as a day trader to show me what's moving that day. That's really my main use for Altcoin Alert. So I use the sorts to give me a heads up what's going on. And I'll give an example at the moment. I'm going to refresh, get the most current information. And that's refreshing the screen. I'm going to sort by AA score, which is usually my first sort of the day. And Blue Zell comes up, BLZ. It's up 50%. And fire, it looks really good on Altcoin Alert. So I've got the chart up. This one's on Coinbase, so Americans can trade it. And it has bounced off. Well, let me review my day trading layout first. On the 15-minute chart, using Lux Algo supply and demand visible range for indicator for support and resistance. The red zone is resistance, the green zone is support. I use the RTI, relative trend index, for most of my alerts and entries, and cumulative delta occasionally for trend-based trading confirmation. But I mostly use the RTI and the support and resistance. At the moment, Bluezell hit the red zone, bounced down, but it's printing a couple of green candles, so it might bounce up again. This middle area is the 50, or the mid area on this range, and then I've got a dotted line here on the RTI. It's also the 50, and Bluezell keeps bouncing near that, but not on it. I usually get into trades that dip below the 20, like this scenario here. And I'll bring up my vertical line. So this is the kind of entry I'm usually looking for on a long, where it dips below the 20 and then breaks back up. And then I tend to enter when it breaks back up. I'll look at the market overall, mostly Bitcoin, to see what it's doing. If it's trending up as well, then I'll get in. As you can see, that's an excellent entry, you know, 50, 90%. Day trades rarely look like that. I'm usually just looking for single digits, 1 to 1.5% on a chart, because I'm an experienced day trader and I trade on foreign exchanges using leverage. But if you're new to this type of trading, you should be trading spot, and Bluezell on Coinbase would be potentially a good place to start. I probably want this to break above the 50 to finish this current dip and then break up. So you can set an alert like this, right click on the RTI, add an alert. Sorry, my computer's a little slow today. And we were going to add an alert. Let me get out some unnecessary windows. All right, let's try that again. Add an alert. That's the wrong alert. Well, this is a little awkward. My alerts don't seem to be working. So get out of Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'll leave Bitcoin on. I haven't had this happen before. So if you've been with me
You
for a
may have
while,
to reboot.
yeah, maybe, but sort of impractical when I got 10 people on the Zoom call. But um, I think all but two of you have been with me before, so you can right click on an indicator and set an alert that way. I'll try to set some on some other coins. Maybe just this Bluezell chart's been difficult. But the idea is we want it to break below the 50 like what happened here. And then have it shoot back up. It's unlikely we'll get a 50% move, but 5% is a really good day trade. Even 2%. So if you make those small profits and pile those up in your balance, it can grow pretty quickly. But here's an example of breaking above the 50, and another one here. And it mostly goes straight before it takes off. Yeah, and then one more here before it really took off. And the other times it came down pretty close to the 50, but it didn't come all the way down. So,
And you answered my question. Thank you so much, Norman.
yeah, Norman, thanks for posing that. When I first got Altcoin Alert, this was back in July of 2020, I believe. I just blindly traded it and it worked okay for a couple of weeks and then it didn't. So then I started incorporating my technical analysis that I'm showing you now. I was doing something different then, and that improved my results considerably. So I think when you use the tools from Altcoin Alert to show it's moving that day, and then you add some reasonable technical analysis, and mine's pretty simple, then that can be useful. I've been making 2 to 5 trades a day on weekdays and incorporating the ladder buying technique, which I use when coins go against me. I've got videos on that where you make additional purchases. I don't think I've had a loss this year, so yeah, doing pretty well. And let's see. So that was Blue Zell on an altcoin alert AA score. Let's refresh again, and we'll use some of the other sorts. I like social activity as well to find what's happening. I'm going to match that up with trading activity. And we got fire and fire here, Blue Zell again. A couple coins, I don't know. And Sui. Someone asked about that. Let's look at Sui. And also on Coinbase. And we're in a better position to enter on Sui. This is dipped below the 20 on the RTI and hasn't broken back up yet. So if my alert function works, we can set an alert on this. And it's not, unfortunately. So maybe I can add this way. No. Okay, so you want to set an alert that triggers when the RTI goes above 20. Oh, there we go. Crossover, crossing up. You can cross over the 50 if you want to use that one. You can cross up on the 20, which is if you're trading spot. That's the one I would suggest you use the most. And then, so we're crossing up on the 20. Add a custom name, social activity sort, and TradingView will remember something if you type it in a few times. Notifications, notify an app on my phone, on my smartphone. Toast notifications that pop up on my computer. Play a sound also on my computer, and there's a lot of sounds to choose from. So I tend to use chirping and 3 notes reverb for day trading and handbell for swing trading. Click create, and you're good to go on Sui. So
Hey, can you show me how you did that? Did all those alerts? How did that start again?
okay, I'll start over again. So I'm going to right click on the RTI. This is an indicator right here, relative trend index. So just anywhere in here you can do it. Right click and choose add an alert on the RTI, which is the fourth one down. There's a dot, dot, dot. And I hope it comes back as quickly as it did last time. And it's being slow. Sorry, guys. Connection's not as robust as I had hoped.
And you're using tradingview.com?
Yes. You can set up a free account, though it's severely limited. I think if you're serious about this, you should at least buy the pro account, which I think is $15.99 or something a month, and then you can get quite a few alerts and layouts and things like that. So, and it's not coming back. So That's disappointing. I can't show that again. But if I have I'll try to do an alert on another um, on another chart. We'll see if those come back. But yeah, for the day trading alert on the 15-minute chart, right click on this and select RTI going above the 20, and that should be a good entry. Um, Not perfect. Sometimes they break up and break down again, and we'll call it fake out. But usually the break above the 20 is a pretty good entry for a long. All right, since that's not cooperating, I'm gonna move on. That was a social activity sort. We've done an AA score sort already, and short-term sentiment. I like to match up with Elder Impulse hourly. So I'm going to sort by short-term sentiment. Just click on it so that the arrow points down. It'll put bullish or very bullish first, and then bullish, and then the rest. And then I'm going to match up with other things I see. Bitcoin makes a rare appearance on here. DeFi, Didix, which I like a lot. POLS. Let's look at Didix. I've got that on my watch list. So I'm just going to select it. Well, my SUI alert came up, but a little late. So Didix is also dipped below the 20 and about to come back. I'll right click on this, add an alert, and it came back right away. Good. So this should, I think that was Norman who was looking for the detailed explanation of alerts. I selected the RTI. I have a drop-down menu here. You can choose crossing over 50 if you want to wait for it to come up the 50 on the RSI. You can cross up on the 20. Once per bar close, we'll leave it on all day until you turn it off. Add a custom name, short-term sentiment. Then go to my notifications, notify an app, toast notification, and play a sound. And choose a sound you like. Test a few if you want. Click create and you're good to go. I'm going to do something a little different. Since I trade both directions on leverage, I'm going to choose an alert that works for that. That's going to be entering a channel. So if you're trading on spot, ignore this for now. But if you're a more experienced trader and you're doing some leverage, you may want to trade like this. 80 on the upper, 20 on the lower. So if it breaks above the 80 on the RTI and dips back down, that's a potential short entry. And then I already talked about the long. And everything else is the same. So I'm clicking create, and that's an alert I'll be following today. And I have a chat message. Robin's asking about swing trade. Yeah, I got distracted and didn't do the swing trade layout. So I'm going to do that for Didix since I'm here. And then maybe go back to SUI and look at that one. All right, so this is my swing trade layout. It's on the 1 hour chart. And I've got the supply and demand visible range for support and resistance again. I'm using the SuperTrend which is an alert-friendly indicator, so I like it. And then Trendilo LSMA for confirmation. So the ideal situation is when it dips into the green zone, then comes back out, prints a buy signal on the SuperTrend, and the LSMA turns green. So for that happened here. Yeah, right about here, I think. Made this move up, dipped a little bit, then another move up, 5%. Maybe you take that, maybe you don't, and then it dipped again. So the overall market has been ranging, doing this action, which is really good for day trading, not very good for swing trading. So, but it's easy to set an alert
No, bud.
on the SuperTrend. Right click on it,
No.
add an alert on SuperTrend, and
Yeah. No,
you
that's
can
perfect. That what you're doing is great.
we can use the direction change for both directions. But for those of you on spot, you'll choose the buy option. Only once is usually sufficient. Custom name. This was short
Yeah.
term.
If it's on the road, yeah.
Yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to mute this person.
Okay, I'll be back down at cabin 3 on the water.
All right, let's get back. Okay, so I think I was doing an alert on the SuperTrend. Right click on SuperTrend. I was done with that. Okay. And then let's look at SUI as a swing. And it looks very similar to Didix. We do have a green candle printing now. Bitcoin's up a little bit, went up to 87.2, is at 85.7, I think, but when we started. And then we have a buy signal, but the Trendilo just turned to red. Oh, the sell signal just printed. So you probably want to catch the next buy signal on this if you want to use this approach. So that's easy enough. Right click on the super trend, choose the buy. And short-term sentiment alert name. You can call them anything you want, but I like to use the information source. Notifications. I mean, usually use a different sound. I like handbell for swing trades, then leave the other two the same. Click create, and you're good to go. But my swing trade budget is a bit depleted at the moment due to this ranging market. So I'm still day trading a lot, but not swing trading that much. So that's SUI and Didix as swing trades. Sorry for the out of order, what we usually do. Any questions or comments about what I just showed you? Okay. Let's go to long-term sentiment, which I actually use a little bit more than short-term. Yeah, let me drag this up. So I just clicked on the sort for long-term sentiment. So listing the bullish ones, I'm going to match that up with the Elder Impulse Daily. And when I get sentiment matched up with a technical indicator, that's worthy of further investigation. Renzo, don't know what that is. Blue Zelt is back. Polymath. Looking for coins I know I can trade on the exchange I use. Bitcoin Cash is a contender. And that's about it. Look at Bitcoin Cash. I know the CryptNation guys don't like this one, but I like it for day trading. So, uh, which is why it is in my watch list. Well, we're a little late for this one. This one dipped down below the 20, then broke above. So you
There
might
could
want
be
to,
a bit of, sorry, there could be a bit of action on that because with the announcement and the conference coming up, there could be a lot of novices coming in that don't know the difference between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and some of those other ones. And what can sometimes happen in those situations is people buy Bitcoin Cash thinking it's Bitcoin and it's cheaper.
yeah, it's a different version of Bitcoin or something like that. Yeah, there's Craig's right. These knockoffs or spin-offs or forks or whatever you want to call them tend to do well when the named coin does well. So if Bitcoin is doing well due to the news that we discussed earlier, then Bitcoin Cash should take off as well. That might be why it's had a little movement here. Um, so that can be a good thing to trade on a day trade. And If you want to get in now, we're pretty close to the red zone already. But 2.2% is a pretty good day trade. If you want to catch this retrace, it's 4.5%. That's obviously better. So that would be another take profit option. So I showed you alerts already. I want to talk more about take profits. That's what the red zone is useful for. We had this breakup here on Wednesday night, and then it dipped down from there. So that seems to be some resistance in the short term at 415. So setting, profit between say 405 and 415 would be reasonable. And I usually set my take profits right after I buy the coin. So that's part of my plan. Plan your trade your plan. So even if it takes off well beyond my take profit, I don't care because I traded my plan. So anyway. And if any of you guys want this layout, email me at cryptocj13@gmail.com and I can email it to you. I can send you a copy, through this copy link function here on TradingView. You won't have to recreate this, and feel free to change it as you see fit. So, Bitcoin Cash is a day trade. Let's look at this as a swing. So I don't know if it's going to hold momentum. Yeah, we're a little late on this swing trade. It's already in the red zone on the hour chart. Let's look at a longer time frame, the 4-hour. Same thing. 8-hour. With the 8-hour, we've got retrace potential to like 450, 460, but you could be in the trade for a while. So if you got in now, you went to the red zone, that's 20%, which is great, but you're in it for 50 days, so that's less than 0.5% per day. Better than losing, but sort of an opportunity expense there. But if you want to do longer swing trades, that's fine. It's not how I trade, but nothing wrong with that. Okay, you can set an alert using the SuperTrend and catch the next buy signal, and probably just add a custom name. I think this was a long-term sentiment. Notifications. You might want to put a different sound on there if you want, maybe handbell. Click create and your alert is ready. It may not go off for a while. Could be a day or two or three. But on the 8-hour chart, the buy signal has triggered and we're at the halfway point. It's not a great entry. I'd rather get in around the green zone or slightly above. But if you want to get in now and ride this up to the red zone, that would be a reasonable approach, I think. Not trading advice, but generally that's how I determine take profits. So, any questions on Bitcoin Cash? Okay, let's maybe do one more. And I forgot to look at 1-hour projected range. That's another sort I do for day trading. But I will look at a swing trade as well with this information. And this is a pretty good entry here. We got upper and double digits, lower actually in the positive. Most time you'll see this. Upper will be a positive number and lower will be negative. If the lower is positive or just a small negative, sometimes that's something I'll look at. Like Bitcoin here. But I prefer altcoins because they move more. Bitcoin doesn't always move a lot. Yeah, this blue Zell is one I would not take because the upper and the lower are almost the same. I mean, that's not that useful. But this DeFi chain's intriguing. Let's see what this one looks like. Okay, it's not really anywhere that Americans can trade. So yeah, I think I'll bail on that one. Blue Zell we looked at. And we don't really have any matches here, so oh, sorry, I was into the sentiment there. So yeah, DeFi people icon ICX. Let's look at that one. It's on Kraken, and I try to look at coins that I know my American friends can trade upon, or at least the exchanges where they are. Let's look
Yeah,
at the
I
Kraken
trade
chart.
on Kraken. I
All
trade
right,
on Kraken if it's not on Coinbase.
that's a good plan. So this is like some of the others we looked at. Broke below the 20, hasn't broken back up yet. So add an alert on the RTI. Crossing up on the 20. Once per bar close. 1 hour. And click create. You're good to go. Yeah. Icon. Let's look at the swing trade. So I kind of like this setup. If you got in now, you'd be a bit early. We don't have confirmation from our indicators, but it is painting a strong green candle in the green zone. So if you got in now, you got resistance here at around 6%, and into the red zone, 15%. That's a really good swing trade. Might take you a few days. So that's the kind of swing trade I like. 15% in 3 days. That's about for a week. A week's about the length of my patience with those. Then if they don't resolve in a week, I end up holding something longer than I want. So all right. Any questions on Icon? All right. Well, that's about all I have for Altcoin Alert. Sorry for the jagged presentation. A few technical difficulties got me off track, but I think we're good now. Any questions or comments about trading overall, or any coins you want to look at? Barney, look, you unmuted and then muted again. Okay. Very
Is there any
well.
way we can get a copy of this whole recording?
Funny you mention that, Norman, because I'm recording it as we speak. So, and you did join my email list recently, so I'll be sending you a link fairly soon. I do have another Zoom call after this, so it could be a couple hours, but you'll get it probably tomorrow morning for you. And I also put a link in um, the Slack group, so you can get it that way. But either way, there'll be a recording available. And if you're new to this kind of trading, it's usually a good idea to rewatch it. A couple of my Zoom calls in the past as well. And then I also recommend the ladder buying topical Zoom call that I've done where I show you how to buy different or additional purchases when something goes against you. Since we're in a bull market, sort of, That can be a useful strategy. It can be dangerous if the market doesn't correct in our favor. So there is some risk involved. All right, so I think that covers that. I will stop the recording here, and if you're watching on the recording, I'd rather see you live, but check out the opportunities in the pinned comment to help fund the channel, and we'll see you next time. Bye.